Welcome to the Portland Conversations. I'm your host, Doc Normal. Jason Allen is co-creator and co-host of Anarchy Radio, which bills itself as the Northwest's #1 internet radio show. When he envisioned a totally wide-open, no-genre show, little did he know that Anarchy Radio would showcase over 120 music acts, along with comedians, politicians, authors, pro wrestlers, and paranormal investigators each week for the past 4 years. He's here to talk about his new show, Turning Left, a progressive political talk show premiering this week on House of Sound Internet Radio. Jason has been accused of going into full shtick mode, and we'll see if I can keep him under control. Jason, welcome to the program.
Welcome to a middle-aged fat bald dude on camera sipping water. I'm your host.
You know, you're absolutely right. It's like two middle-aged dudes, sipping water.
Yeah.
On camera. So I'm actually going to do the funky thing right now.
Excellent.
So you can check this. We're going to set up this is my camera, but we're going to do it 2 cameras. So we're going to set up the wide shot. So I'm Jerry Todd, if you know that reference.
Yeah, Second City TV.
Yeah.
Love that, man. Yeah.
There you go. There we are.
Right. Hello.
The two of us. Hey,
hello.
In the as yet unnamed studio. So this is like the guinea pig. This is like the dry. Right. Of course, I got Jason because it's like.
So you're saying I'm patient zero? Is that what?
Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha.
So let's talk first. You're Jason Allen, the bald guy of Anarchy Radio.
Yep.
So tell us about Anarchy Radio. You've been doing this for what, like 4
years and some change. I know, it's hard to believe. Yeah, all in the blink of an eye.
So when did it start?
Our first broadcast was April 29th, 2012.
Oh,
believe it or not.
Thank you, Spock.
Yeah.
What second did that start?
Right. I can tell you that, too. That's a great story in and of itself, man. So we send a email off at 2 in the morning. A friend of mine says, "Hey, they got this place, House of Sound. You've always wanted to do radio. You should get a hold of them." So I said, "All right, I'll do that." So I send off a 2 a.m. email. "Hey, I got this weird, wacky idea for a show." And I never expected to hear back from anything, But lo and behold, they said, "Oh, sure, come on down, tell us what you got." So I went down, and his on-air moniker was Astro at the time. And he went through the training and stuff, which I think probably afterhand did not pay much attention to. I wasn't exactly focused because we get there first night of the show, me and Mark walk into the studio, and we're ready to get on the air. And we have no idea how to get on the air. All right. So our deadline hits. And it's going. And so by this time, I'm frantically calling an admin on the phone. "Hey, I can't get on, and this is like, our show started at midnight to 2, right? Yeah. Saturday into Sunday. So I'm sure at the time she was really happy to get that call, at like 12:05 a.m., But no, she was a great sport about it. She came down, and it turned out to be like just slide in a button.
Was it Heather? Did you call her?
It was, yes.
Good. Oh, yes.
And she was a great sport about it, too. I mean, she must have like, "Oh my God, what are we doing?" But we did. We got on the air half an hour late. We were doing a 2-hour show at that time, so our first glorious entrance to the world of internet radio was actually an hour-and-a-half show the first time. But we started midnight to 2, Saturday going into Sunday. And we started getting this little cult following, right? I was like, wow, who's even awake, Saturday? Well, we are, we're night owls. So we started getting this cult sort of following, and so we decided, okay, let's go to a more advantageous time. So we moved Thursdays 10 to 1. And then we started building up even more than that. And
so what was the main focus of the show? Or what has been the main focus?
Well, remember in Seinfeld when they always talked about the show that's about nothing? Yeah. Right? That's what I wanted it to be like. When I was talking, when me and Mark were talking about it, we wanted a show that wasn't hemmed in by any genres or parameters. We could take the show anywhere we wanted. And it always amazed me why and how it hasn't really been done that much before. Everyone's got a genre, we're either local music or we're talk or we're politics or this or that. And man, I wanted to take it anywhere. I wanted, that was the beauty of it.
So
I wanted
just free form.
Total free form.
You guys didn't have a plan. You were like, let's turn on the mics and
Right.
see what happens.
Well, kind of, yeah, but we kind of have all these interests in so many weird and different fields that if you design the show a certain way, you couldn't have, let's say, pro wrestlers on a local
Right.
music show, or you couldn't have politicians on a local music show, or anything like that.
The show has evolved. It's you kind of have you have a formula now. I would say a formula.
Yeah.
Type of a formula,
Sure.
Which would be you have seems like you have a music feature,
We
a
do.
local music feature,
We do.
and
Yeah.
then you have interviews, local or
Yeah.
otherwise.
Well, now even some national. And
tell us about some of your highlight guests.
Highlight guests.
in the last 4 years that you've really
yeah.
sticks in your mind.
The really funny and quirky and cool thing about that is we went out and we didn't say to ourselves, we're going to go out and get the biggest star possible. We're going to swing for the fences. We didn't do that. Who would I like to talk to? Who would Mark like to talk to? And so my first venture to do that actually was Blake Sakamoto.
Yeah.
He was with the Dan Reed Network and now with the New Wavers.
Dan Reed Network, man.
And,
I used to go back in the day. Eli's, I think
Starry
it was.
Nightclub,
Starry Night.
pre-Roseland Starry Nightclub, and so he was gracious. Yeah, sure, I'll come on, and he brought his lovely wife at the time, Brenda Braxton, KGW, and she was totally cool with it. Hey, yeah, sure, interview me too. I don't care, And so we're like just talking. I was like, wow, that's really cool. So who do we want next? So the first, I guess, on the radar, I guess, for lack of a better term, would be international best-selling author Christopher Moore. And he has written, 20, maybe 30 books now and sold, I believe, in the range of 11, 12 million books. I mean, he's, to me, one of my favorite authors. Man, I'd love to get this guy, sit him down and talk to him. And what a treat and really surreal to be able to do that. What was your thought process about this book? How do you approach writing this way? And it was fascinating.
How about these? You had the ghost hunters on.
Yes, paranormal.
Now you guys, you kind of have a paranormal track to the show.
We do.
Which I appreciate because I love a good conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
I love.
And before we're done here, I will lay down my own conspiracy theory for you. Okay,
awesome.
I'll bounce it and see how you feel about it.
That's when we start drinking.
That's a foreshadowing, folks. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
No, but our intrepid producer, Big Game James, all right, he loves paranormal, and Mark and I do too. I mean, we grew up listening to Art Bell, Coast to Coast AM, and but James and his lovely wife, they they're into like ghost hunting and the paranormal, and so it was like James, hey, why don't we get some of these groups on there? Okay, cool. And so we started off interviewing like paranormal groups, and it's just so fascinating. Everything from the hardware and the science that they use to go out and do this stuff to everything they've encountered, EVPs and video and stuff. And it's a cool component to the show now that it's never tires.
Yeah. I think we didn't we do an interview with them at Comic-Con a couple of years ago. I think on video.
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely couple.
Yeah.
Just kind of they did a national show and they just kind of went out there and did the thing.
Yeah. But
so recently you had. Was it Nat Borchers?
Yeah, Portland Timbers. And Mark and him, they have this good-natured, almost Jack Benny-esque, Jack Benny, Fred Allen feud because each one claims that they have the best beard, all right? And if you've seen Nat Borchers, he has got a lovely mane of flowing beard, all right? And Mark has had his beard a year and a half, going on 2 years now, and he's quite proud of his beard. There's a photo down there. And both of them and so it almost turned into a beard off, right? And I was joking. I said, the winner, can win some sort of trophy, and the loser has to shave their beard off live on the air. But of course,
these guys here are actually looking at the beards in amazement.
Right. That's a Die Robot, Spotlight Local Music guest, number 121. And well, there's me hamming it up. And
And this is your new website, right?
brand spanking new. Anarchyradio.net. Brand new. It launched Saturday morning. Pamela with, I believe it's a Web Zero Works. Pamela Zero, she built a really cool interactive site for Anarchy Radio and for what really we want to do and take it into the future. I mean, she went out and she put in, just at least in my humble opinion, a top-notch streaming player. Because, if you're doing anything sort of audio, radio, whatever, audio's king. You live and die by that. And she really embraced all that. She built the complete site for us, including a really cool calendar, which not only tells you, but you can click on it, and it'll even go to more of a in-depth of what exactly is going on, what the event is, how much it costs, the address, everything like that. And some calendars don't do that. It's just it's just a headline. And I thought that was kind of cool. Not only that, we have a blog where we can give our own 2 cents worth. And it's I think the base of a really cool website that as we grow and as we really start doing everything we want to do on the site, I mean, it is fantastic. And she went above and beyond the Call of Duty on that.
Yeah, and there it is right there. We did it, and that's brand spanking
new.
And so that's kind of featuring.
Still has that new website smell.
Yeah. When that runs out, you get a little tree and just
right.
On the pine. Now the site smells like pine.
Your website smells very piney.
So basically, here's a couple guys who go into the studio, have no clue what you're doing at all.
Not at all. Yeah, Mark.
And now you're interviewing.
Yeah, Mark was a journalism major. I was a history major. We know nothing about radio. I mean, we didn't. None of us have communications degrees. And but we were huge fans of radio. And man, if we ever got the chance, this would be great. We could do it. And it's nice. It's nice to see, kind of, at least in some form, a dream realized.
Wow. I mean, it's just so. You've got the site set up.
Yeah.
What's your like
what's the master plan?
Yeah, your target guest, say when that Obama retires from the president, I'm hoping we can Skype in and
right. Hey, Barack, it's Jason. Yeah, hey. Target. Wow, great question. Because of the parameters of the show is so wide open, right? Anarchy. I mean, it could go anywhere at any time.
Right.
And totally. And another thing that a lot of people, it boggles the mind when they hear it, because we don't talk about it much, especially not on the air. But I'll give you a little secret: everything is unscripted. Everything that pops out of our pie holes through the whole show. I mean, you look on some terrestrial shows.
Scripted interview, right?
Right. Look into the teleprompter, please.
Yeah.
And but no, because of the wide open nature of Anarchy Radio, guests. I mean, our target guests is pretty much all of the above. We've had on politicians, pro wrestlers, actors, comedians, musicians. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And to some degree, we're guided by people who listen to the show that say, hey, you've got to get these people on. Can you go get these people? This would make a great interview. And, okay, sure, we'll do it, And that's kind of a fun way to make radio and audio, the show itself a little more interactive, because we have our own likes and dislikes, and the people who listen to the show, maybe they want to hear something, and we can bring it to them,
Oh, that's great. That's great. Any video or keeping it audio, keeping it podcasting?
For the moment, it will be audio only. I would like to introduce into the future, me personally, I'd like to introduce more of a video concept. We have done a little bit either on like Facebook Live or Periscope when we have like an in-studio, interview, just, little snippets of it and showing video. And that's something I really wish we could take advantage more of, because it just opens up a whole new road, YouTube, running video streaming off the site itself, and it's something I can see in the future. Yeah,
that's cool. So you got a new thing that's popping up right now.
Yes.
And so you're here to talk about that as well. So this is a new show.
Brand new, yeah.
That you are doing.
Yes. Yeah.
This is kind of like your solo side of the album from Anarchy Radio. So
right. Remember the Kiss solo albums? They all released one on the same day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
And Emerson, Lake and Palmer kind of did works where each side of the record was like, oh, this is Carl Palmer's side. There's a lot of drums on that one.
I want to be Lake or Palmer.
Yeah.
Emerson's all right, but I want to be Lake or Palmer.
May he rest in peace.
Right. Yeah.
So tell us about your new project, which is called Turning Left.
Turning Left with Jason. You're right, all official and wow, serious.
Yeah.
The idea originally is I was very politically motivated in my early 20s, and I just got disenfranchised and didn't, I'm not political anymore. Well, as the 2016 presidential campaign has been in, full swing, I find myself getting more engaged again. And my wife, like, oh, you got to see this interview. What about this? And finally she's like, man, why don't you just go get your own show and you can talk about it rather than bothering me? So, all right, sure. I'll do that. Eureka.
That's perfect. Anytime you bug your wife, it's like, just go make a show.
Go get your own
show. Podcast. Go make a show. Don't talk to me about it.
Yeah. So the show is a progressive political radio talk format. And I make no bones about the biasness of it. It's not going to be, you are not watching CNN. Okay. And it's what I believe, what my co-conspirator and all this is, Doug Bell, who we will call Brother Bell on the air, because he's the brotherhood of man's brother. He's everyone's brother. And
tell us a little bit about Doug.
Doug, he is a fantastic.
And he's not a part of Anarchy Radio.
No, he's not. We hooked up when we were both in the integrated media department out at Mount Hood, and it was just from the first day. Sat down, we started talking. It's like just the chemistry, riffing off back and forth. And it also helps that Brother Bell, Doug, he is wicked smart. I mean, he is an Encyclopedia Britannica on two legs. Okay, so when you sit down and talk to him, he's articulate, he's funny, and it's like, man, I want to do a radio show with you, man. I don't know what format yet. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do it, And so...
So did you pitch him the politic?
Yeah, I did. I said I want to do a new show, and it's about politics, and
it'll be really, really funny. I promise.
Right. Because I said, you listen to all the shows on the right, the Limbaughs, the Hannitys, all that stuff, and there's just so much cacophony and anger in it, and I wanted to bring a show that was like the audio version of either Bill Maher or Jon Stewart, something snarky and funny where you can learn about something but not feel like you're getting preached to. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta believe this way, if not, you're going to hell. Nothing like that. I wanted to
actually, I'd be okay with that.
Right? Yeah, get in a suit, televangelist.
Yes. We can talk about that later.
Right. Coming soon.
Next to the paranormal, the televangelist.
Paranormal televangelist.
Oh my gosh.
Your house is clean.
Shh. I'm going to edit that out because we've got a show here. So right now, just... yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
You can put in the light bulbs later about that ding.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a progressive political talk show talking about what's going on in the world. But I wanted to... Because, Anarchy Radio has kind of a local music thing. I wanted to do more of a local thing. So we are advocating and really shining a light on the local grassroots, in the trenches politics. And we've got some exciting guests coming on here in the weeks and in the months to come. And it's all about you feeling connected again. So many people are like, my vote doesn't count. No one listens to me. Politics, schmolitics, it's outside. I can't think about it.
Is that the idea of the local bent for you to get connected locally? 'Cause
Yes.
it's really hard.
It is.
And especially in 2016.
Yes. In such a polarized environment.
Really hard to get connected with that. And I think most Americans are rather somewhat disconnected because they're looking at their choices.
Disconnected, exhausted, combative.
The engine that drives that.
And,
but you can get involved.
Yes.
In your
if you want to change the
locality.
world, right? I'm really a firm believer of this. If you want to change the world, it's got to start with yourself, okay? And it's got to start with what you believe in and what you stand for. And I believe that if there is a show that you can listen to, and this segues into the new segment on the show called Cause of the Week, which we will highlight either a campaign or a cause or an issue or whatever, and we're not only going to tell you what it's about, but we're going to encourage you to find out more about it. And not only that, we're going to tell you where you can go to become involved in it, because a lot of people, they see stuff on TV and wow, that sounds great, but I don't even know how to even go about doing that. So let's turn the channel, and watch something else. So we're gonna hand it to you. We're gonna say, here's the issue, here's the cause, here's who you can call, here's how you can get involved in this. And it's such the grassroots trench level. And I really think maybe above all in the show, I think that's what's going to resonate.
What kind of causes do you just see off the top of your head? I mean, I think you've put some thought behind this.
Oh, you bet.
And it's going to be local. It's going to be Portland metro area,
yes.
Oregon.
Yep. The Tri-County, Tri-County area, Southwest Washington.
Yeah. So what kind of things are you looking at right now?
Well, a little more foreshadowing. The debut episode, which is 9/11. Tell me that was coincidence, right?
Yeah.
And the very first cause of the week is going to be the Portland Rescue Mission. And it's a cause that is near and dear to Brother Bell's heart. He has been involved with the Portland Rescue Mission for several years, and he's one of those guys.
Down off of Burnside?
Yep.
What is that? Ankeny, or is that?
I think it's around Ankeny.
And where Burbades and all of that.
Exactly.
That area.
Yeah. And he's been involved with them for several years, and he's one of those guys that's not behind the day. I mean, he is in the trenches doing good work day in and day out. And I thought that would be kind of a cool start for the segment to do that. And in the future, we're going to have everything from income inequality to grassroots political organizing. How if you want to become involved in like either the school system or just any sort of plug and play grassroots issue. And I think it's at least that segment. I think it's a winner. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, and you're going to make this. So the problem with local politics and local political shows, because if you're you get in late on a Saturday evening after all night partying, and you're up and you turn on the TV and it's like
I have no idea what that's like at all.
4 or 5 a.m. A local politics show that they put in this segment that no one's ever going to watch.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And these are pretty dry affairs. I mean, these are pretty dry, boring, type of shows. So injecting that humor and entertainment in there probably is a good idea.
Well, and humor is such, at least in my life, and I know Doug's life too, and Mark, Anarchy Radio, humor is such a huge component of our lives. I mean, we
Right.
we are weirdos. We're quirky. This is what we, we do.
I guess my point is that
Yeah.
like national politics right now is
Yes.
just an entertainment fest. For better, well, probably for worse.
Yeah.
I mean, because it is serious, but let's face it. I mean, it's like watching some of the pro wrestling you guys cover on Anarchy Radio to watch
Sure.
like the presidential election or national
Tabloid
politics.
fast food
Yeah.
entertainment, right?
Yeah. And local politics is usually just very dry
Yes.
and not as entertaining. Now, Portland's had some entertaining political things lately.
Sure.
But are the types of guests you're going to have like
Yes.
both political figures and entertainment figures who are
Yeah.
politically involved, or how's that
Yes.
going to work?
We are going to interview Congress people. We're going to interview people who run the political action committees. We're going to interview volunteer coordinators. We're going to interview local notables and celebrities who have a advocacy or are a little more politically driven. And it's not only what it is the issue or who they are. I want, if you're going to get behind a candidate, right, it's got to be more than just a picture on the page of a voter's registration. I mean, I want to know who these people are, right?
There's always like you open up the
Who
voter
is it?
pamphlet. It's like,
Right. The black and white glossy photo,
Yeah.
and the short bio. Oh, wow, you got a bachelor's of arts from...
you were a janitor at your church when you were in high school. Okay.
Right.
You're like, who are these people? You know?
Right. And at the local level, there's just not that connectivity where you can find out, really how these, what's the cut of their jib, And I'm going to try to inject that into the show where you can, your local congressman, your local, state legislature individual, who these people are, what their likes and dislikes. Because I think in the long run, if people can connect to them, it makes politics not such a standoffish, dirty thing, that these people are flesh and bone and they have ideas and they have definite, really cool personalities.
It's you're selling me on this idea.
Thank you.
Actually, I mean, I'm just saying that because I'm doing this show. No,
Okay.
no, actually,
We'll edit that out
Yeah,
in-
yeah.
in
No,
post.
actually, I like the idea because the voter pamphlet idea.
Yeah.
When you go, like in November, when we go to vote,
Yeah.
there's going to be who would you like for president, and
Yeah.
you're going to know those names
Right. Because nationally,
really well.
yeah.
But when it goes to the county assessor, and or which may not be a choice, it might just be one person.
Right.
The ones that so here's what I really want you to do.
Okay.
Here's your my task
Okay.
as a fan. of
Doug,
your
when you see
show.
this, take note.
Take note. Doug.
Okay.
Doug,
Yeah.
take a note. I want to get into the deep
Okay.
and dirty political underbelly
Seedy
of
underbelly.
wastewater management.
Oh, well.
I mean, there's those district managers who
Yes.
are the water management,
Right,
environmental bureau. What do they even call them on the ballot? You go, wow, I can vote for one of these.
Sanitation Department Chair number 5,
Exactly. Or you know what I'm talking about.
Right, if it was
It's
Star
always
Trek, they would have the red shirt
Yeah.
on in the background, right? Yeah.
like
Yeah.
can you go in there and interview these people, and it's like,
Yeah.
can I go in your bathroom? I just want to see how clean your bathroom is.
Right,
And then it's
right.
like, boom, right there.
Taking
expose.
ultraviolet light in there, how come there's
No,
healthy
no.
on the wall?
No,
Oh,
Jason.
no.
No, ultraviolet light.
Okay.
Okay, come on.
Well,
That's good for CSI. That's good for
Again,
no
we'll
one
edit
else.
that out.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But it could just be like, okay, we have a debate between these two environmental clean water people. Bring pictures of your bathrooms.
Yeah. Right.
You're a little. It's about time to do the bowl.
Right, yeah.
It's a little.
Why are there fingerprints on the ceiling? What's
Yes.
that about?
Anyway.
No, but yeah, I
mean, how do you vote for people like that?
Right, exactly.
Honestly.
And that's the way, at least at the local level, politics has become. It's everyone knows who the senators are. They have kind of a grasp on that. They know who's running for president. But at the level, which you would think, I mean, has a daily impact on people's lives, have no idea who, let alone a mayor of a small city.
Yeah.
Who are they? I don't know. It's just a name on a ballot. They're in my party, so I'll go ahead and check it off. We, no idea. And hopefully this show can help people engage more at the grassroots, and because if you're tired of the way things are going and you want things to change, the only way things are going to change is if people themselves inject new ideas and work towards making those ideas a reality that benefits everybody.
Right. I think at the local level, what you find is it's insiders,
Yeah.
and it's certainly insiders who are directly impacted. I mean, the
Yeah.
whatever that, and again, I'm saying wastewater management. I'm not sure what those lines.
We're picking on it.
Off the top of my head.
You're going to get so much hate mail from like the Kellogg Creek
I know about the Kellogg Creek issue,
Yes.
and there's Mayor Mark Gamba. Is his name Mark? Is that his mayor? Mayor of Milwaukee?
I think he is now, yes.
Jeremy.
Since Jeremy is up
you
in
had on
King
the show.
County, yeah. Great guy, too.
They made some videos, some documentaries about the Kellogg. There's a dam,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And you can now go down to the Milwaukee waterfront and walk around, and you can see this dam. And they want to take the dam out because at one point, back in the old days, there were salmon running from all the way through,
Right.
Reed College down through and going out into the Willamette, and that's a huge Oregonian kind of issue. We like our salmon. We like our environment, and there's really good documentaries on there.
Nice.
About recreational pools that were built and all this stuff, and then abandoned, and then lumber mills dumping crap in the water.
Yeah.
And you, if you take a little time, you watch this, you go, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, I like this. Let's do this. I'm okay with this.
Right.
But it's those types of issues.
Right. But with the show, hopefully the show is kind of a next step, right? You see something like that.
Yeah.
Or you see an issue or a cause or a politician that you want to get behind. Hopefully this show is the next step where you can see and hear that. And like, okay, so these people have just told me how to call these people on the phone, and they've told me how to get a hold of them, the email addresses or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. I watched these videos. I don't know how I found them. And I watched the videos, and then I actually went down there and I saw it. And it was pretty powerful. It was like, I'm behind. How can I get involved? I'm behind this. I'd vote for a measure if there's budgeting, whatever needs to happen. So
and it connects.
Yeah. So that kind of exposing that kind of thing, and then saying, go here, go do this. It works pretty well. It works pretty well.
And we had a down low show on the 4th. It was basically me and Doug sitting behind microphones for 2 hours. Talking, working, fleshing out format and where we want to go with the show, and basically what's going to happen. And so this debut show here on September 11th, 9/11, it's going to be pretty good. I've got some guest people coming in for segments, almost a Jon Stewart Daily Show-ish sort of thing, and I've got some other really cool stuff going on.
And it's 2 hours?
It's 2 hours. It starts at 8 p.m., 8 to 10 on houseofsound.org. And, of course, you can catch Anarchy Radio, the Northwest's #1 internet radio show at www.anarchyradio.net. This week, in fact, tomorrow is our football kickoff show. We are taking over Flying Pie Pizza in Milwaukee. And we are bringing in the Rex Putnam football team, cheerleaders,
Wow.
pep squad. It's going to turn into a giant pep rally. And not only them, but the good folks over at
The marching
NW.
band there.
It could with us, and you never know, right? We
Like
could
marching
marching
band
down
and
McLaughlin, right? The Music Man ending.
Oh.
No, but
That's actually what you guys need to do.
it's segue into the music.
You need, you guys like kind of rumbling there down the street with the marching band and
Right, yeah.
your Anarchy Radio T-shirt, which you have.
Right.
I don't know if we have that online, but
Yeah, we also have the good folks at NWWA Wrestling.
Yeah.
They're going to be coming on the kickoff show, too, because they've got a big card on the 10th at the Milwaukee Elks Lodge.
okay. So
Yeah.
you guys have done some color commentary for the
Yeah, we'll simulcast it. We've got our own wrestling insider, Mason Storm, who's been around the business for eons and eons,
Right.
and he does the actual play-by-play because he knows all the holds. And, he's got someone. To me, if it was left up to me, he's got him by an elbow. Well, I don't know what that's called, and radio doesn't work so well.
So your contribution is, ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Yes, I have three actually. First one is the second one is he almost took his head off, and the third one, which is my personal favorite, is rip his arm off and beat him over the head with it.
Oh,
And if I can reach the number 3, I know it's been a good successful.
I'll give you number 4.
Number 4.
Not the metal chair.
Oh yeah.
The steel chair, metal chair.
It was a hardcore match last time we did NWWA wrestling. It was, and I heard this when I was going over the audio later. And I said, "Oh my God, he just stapled paper to a man's scrotum."
Oh my!
It was that hard. It was that hardcore of a match, and it was something like when I listened to the audio again over it, I'm like, I can't believe that came out of my. Oh my
need to make an
gosh!
ISO of that,
But it
should have brought that in.
Yeah, no, place was packed.
Use it as your alarm, in the
Oh
morning.
my! Wake up!
Yeah.
Wake up! Almost like the Tom Peterson clock,
Yeah.
Wake up to a happy day.
That's a great
Anarchy Radio
one
clock.
of the great supporters
Right,
of here. Actually, I gotta set the right.
Mark. What do you think about an Anarchy Radio clock?
Yeah, right there. That is
A buzzer and
the
then
man, the legend himself. May he rest in peace. Just recently
Yes.
passed away.
local icon.
Local icon Tom Peterson, furniture salesman, who supported local
He
wrestling.
did for years and years. It is.
Main advertiser.
The funny thing about Tom was you didn't know how much he actually impacted your life until I saw the obituary. Because then the flashbacks come back of all the wrestling he did, all the commercials, you ride Tom's trolley, get a haircut like Tom,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean much if you live in Seattle or anywhere else playing on the globe, but at Portland, if you saw him, you instantly knew. Oh wow, that's Tom Peterson. I wonder if you can go down and ride his trolley.
Yeah, I hope his iconic, his icon was his face, this character
Yeah.
of his face.
Yes.
And I hope that somehow that stays in Portland. Like that when people see that, it's like
I
it's like
was-
seeing Keep Portland Weird or
Right.
a
Yes.
Simpsons drawing or something like that.
It really it tickled me pink when I was surfing on the internet the other day, and there's a local cover band, the just bar band that plays covers and stuff. It tickled me pink when I went and looked on their page, and their icon and logo, they're called 60 Hertz, and their icon and logo is Tom Peterson's face.
There he is.
Yep.
His iconic face.
Right. Yeah.
And here's the
There's the clock. Yeah.
clock.
I am jealous, man. You got a Tom Peterson clock. You may have to frisk me walking out the door because I might be trying to smuggle it out.
Well,
Where'd the clock go?
You'll have to.
The TSA
yeah.
pat down
That
with
is-
the wand.
That is not my clock.
Okay, sorry.
It was appropriated for the studio right now, along
Gotcha.
with this
Commandeered, really. Nice.
raccoon
Right.
thing here. But the Statue of Liberty That is mine.
Is that the Green
I
Hornet
got that
car
in
over
there.
there?
It is.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And with
Kato. Yeah.
Kato.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, Tom was interesting. I actually I didn't know Tom well, but I knew him as a kid growing up.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
that was through one of the, well, you know, and this is the White Guys podcast, old White Guy podcast. Yeah.
Middle-aged man.
Yes. Yes. So people like us maybe grew up and maybe went to church. I know.
Once upon a
explain
Sunday.
Wikipedia church.
Right.
And so you'll have to explain that to your younger viewers if you ever get into that on your show.
But Daddy, what's organized religion?
Exactly. It's like Facebook, but
Google Creflo $8. No,
Yeah.
don't do that.
but Tom actually was a member of my church. So
Okay.
I would literally, as a little kid,
Yeah.
I would watch. I think I've told this story on podcasts way in the back, old days. Portland Wrestling,
Yeah.
Northwest Wrestling came on a Saturday night.
11 o'clock.
You know, you and your buddies, gotta watch Portland Wrestling.
Yep.
And Sunday, I'd go to church. And, Tom Peterson had all these wake up and all these.
There he is.
It's like all of a sudden, here comes the guy out of my TV selling furniture,
Right.
walking past me down the hall in the church. It was very interesting.
6 degrees of Tom Peterson.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I may have spoke to him once or twice.
Once or twice.
Nice guy. I mean, it was weird. You're in church, so you're not like going, "Hey, Portland Wrestling! What do you think of the Kangaroos last night? Did they,
Right.
Which is my other Tom Peterson story.
Yeah.
Famous. Someone has been archiving some of this on YouTube.
Okay.
Has found tapes.
Yes.
By the way, Frank Bonema
Frank Bonema, the
was
original.
the original thing, and I have a friend, John Baraz, who is good friends with Frank Bonema,
Nice.
actually.
Yeah.
And so he's got a lot of Bonema stories, crazy stories. But Tom Peterson would come on and he'd do live
Yeah.
at the venue, live
Yeah, sometimes right.
adverts and stuff.
From the crow's nest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so someone got a great idea to mix that in with the actual talent and the wrestlers. And at one point, there was this scandalous thing where Tom Peterson had a black and white battery operated television.
Oh, no.
You'll have to explain television to your
Right.
listeners too.
Black and white
6
television.
channels. And it had like 20 D batteries or something, and it lasted for probably like
Big old
20 minutes.
Duracell. Yeah.
And so he comes on and he's showing this TV, and the bad guys who I think were the Kangaroos,
Oh, boy.
I think, which
Yeah.
were these guys who were from
Jonathan
Australia.
Boyd, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They came, they ripped the TV out of his hand and stole all the batteries and ran off. And it was a huge scandal, huge
Yeah.
professional wrestling scandal.
Oh, sure.
So it's real.
Right.
But it was funny. I mean, I have great memories as a kid. And this
Right.
someone else we lost fairly recently, Roddy Piper, and all these great guys. They all
Started.
Andre the Giant.
Yep.
They were all here.
Yeah.
They were all in Portland in this I-5 corridor in Northwest.
You got it. Yeah, Portland Wrestling was the proving ground
Yeah.
for the NWA back in the day before the WWE pretty much took over everything.
Yeah.
And so once or twice a year, you would see Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
You would, and such luminaries. I mean, Roddy Piper went on to big
Yeah.
things. Rick Martel went on to big things.
Yeah.
So many wrestlers. Funny story, real quick about Roddy Piper. We had him finally booked to come on the show.
I remember
He
this.
was so. I mean, he was.
I was excited about
Mark's
this.
talking to him. He like digged the local vibe of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm excited. This is gonna be so much fun. We can talk about anything. Nothing is off the books. Like, wow, this is great. We get to interview Roddy Piper. And then the phone rings and Mark says, Piper interview's off. Like, yeah, was he booked or something? Right, literally. I mean, he was coming on literally a week after he
Oh, wow.
passed away, and I was like, oh, and it's another guy. If you lived in Portland, you
Right.
knew Roddy Piper.
I remember when you booked that, I didn't realize that didn't
Is
happen because of
that
his
timeline? Yeah, he
death.
literally was scheduled to come on literally the week after he passed
I
away.
remember. I think you actually messaged me, and you went, "Guess who we're gonna have on?" And it was like, "Oh, yeah, that's awesome."
Doc, look,
Yeah. These guys. I remember when he passed. A lot of local people,
yeah,
old timers,
right.
were pretty torn up. And some of these guys, these wrestlers, I don't know if it is like the guys you're hanging out with now, but they were those old guys were really involved in the community.
They were.
Like you could, they
were.
They do their wrestling thing, and then you'd go to the GI Joes or whatever, and they'd do like an appearance. Oh yeah, I'll sign some autographs.
Very
or
accessible.
Very accessible.
Me and Mike Miller, for years, lived next door to me. And I'd go over to his house. He would show me the belt. We'd watch old tapes. Me and the Buddha. We're just eating popcorn, watching old tapes. With me and Mike Miller. My father was friends with Al Madrill, wrestler for years and years. He knew Sandy Barr.
Sandy Barr, yeah.
And the Barr family. So I mean, in Portland, it just wasn't something you saw on TV. It's something that you could literally walk out your door one day and you would see them on the street or whatever, and they would talk to you. It isn't like today where like, hey, I don't sign anything. Go to a Comic-Con if you want to see me sign something.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys stop and talk to you, and that's what made I think Portland wrestling so cool.
Yeah, I was in when I was in grade school. It was like, oh yeah, what does your dad do? Oh, he's a lawyer. What's your dad do? Oh, he's a machinist. What's your dad do?
He's a pro wrestler.
Literally, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think Matty Suzuki. I went to school with this kid, and it was like, what's your dad do? He's a professional wrestler.
Mumbling.
The big Japanese guy you see
career day at your local school
in a giant Cadillac around the neighborhood. That would be my dad, And it was just like, okay, well, that's cool. It's like
coolest career day ever. Because my dad's a pro wrestler.
Oh yeah. But those I would like to see more. I'm hoping that we get more on YouTube. I know there are some people who have videos that are posting
in fact, I can give you a little inside skinny on that. Person to Rich Patterson.
Politics and all this other stuff. We're just going to talk
Portland
professional wrestling in the Portland area.
Politics, schmaltics. Rich Patterson, guy that runs Blade, the Blazer Broadcasting radio end of it. He helped out with Portland wrestling for years. Was behind. He has pretty much the entire video library, and he releases.
He's got a channel on YouTube, and I think it's his channel.
God bless Rich Patterson for keeping that stuff around, man.
Yeah.
And he does that. He's been a huge advocate lately of making sure people see this stuff. He doesn't, and that's the cool thing. Like, he doesn't like, I made videotapes or DVDs and I'll sell it to you for $11.99. No, I want everyone, and that's so cool.
What are you gonna do with the tapes, right? It's gonna be like you and me going up to YouTube and, oh my gosh, look at this, from 1978, or something.
Daddy, what's Playboy Buddy Rose?
Yeah.
Well,
oh yeah. See those names. If you grew up around this, and
right, local iconic names.
Yeah. So a show.
Yes.
That mixes paranormal, conspiracy theories,
yes,
and professional wrestling.
Wrestling. Isn't it great?
This is the new show.
Right,
This is what we want to do.
And that's really the magic of Anarchy Radio, man. It's we have so many tastes.
Yes.
And so many
some heavy metal.
Heavy metal. We've had heavy metal. We did a show live from the Ponderosa where we did the Battle of the Bands finalist country music. Wow. We've had rap, jazz, we're almost to the point now where we're going to have on, a death metal polka at some point, something sub niche.
What's your standout? Who are some of the music acts you really like?
Oh,
kinda stand out?
local bands. Oh, wow. Tuesday's Project. They are one of those bands. When you hear Tuesday's Project, you say to yourself, "Why aren't these guys huge? Why aren't these guys
Is
a
that
household?"
Christine?
No, she's actually married to the
Okay.
lead singer,
It's- yeah.
Rob Whitfield, who I
Right.
affectionately, and we all on the show affectionately call him Rock and Roll Jesus, because he's got the long flowing locks, and the beard. I mean, when you look at those old photos in Sunday school of Jesus, hey, that's it, it's Rock and Roll Jesus. But no, Tuesday's Project, fantastic band. Another band, The Shrike. And they're just wrapping up their new album. They're about ready to go on tour again, and they've made quite a lot of leaps since we've been on the air. A great band. If you're into metal, Othrys, Separation of Sanity. We've had, to give you an idea, and you could say, "Geez, I can't believe Jason can't remember all of it."
That's fine.
Literally, folks, we have had up to this point 121 bands.
121.
121. All different bands. If they come back on the show, it doesn't get added to the number. It's 121 different bands.
Nice.
And
Wow. 100. Wow.
yeah, and it's something it's our little badge of honor.
There was a time when you were doing Anarchy Radio and House of Sound, and I would find myself there at the time. Usually, like, can you come down and?
Right, yeah. Doc, we pushed the button again. Can you please come down and,
Click.
Right, yeah.
All right. Show. And there was a band. I think they gave me a CD. And was it a guy who was, it was like a Lady Gaga thing. He was like wearing a meat outfit or something. I don't know.
Yes.
It was
Dead Animal Assembly Plant. Great industrial metal band, yes. And
what's the Dead
Dead Animal Assembly Plant.
Assembly Plant?
Yes. And interesting group, good music, and it's so cool to interview these people too, because you get the public, presentation of what they want to show the public. But the man with the meat costume is
I love how you
is a
immediately
sweet guy.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
wonderful guy, and he babysits the kids sometimes. We yeah.
Right? Yeah, he's very economical.
I mean, I don't know. I think that was maybe Amanda was. There
Yes,
doing the show. I think
it's
she was
gotta
a
be
little freaked out by the meat guy.
Interesting side story on that. Amanda was actually friends with the drummer. That's how we booked.
And this is, we should say, Amanda Arnold,
Yes,
comedian,
famous
extraordinaire.
local comedian Amanda Arnold.
Lovely.
Probably Mark and my best choice, best was to get her on the show.
Mm-hmm.
She is wickedly smart and wickedly funny, so fast, bam. And it's one of those people that when you get on the air, like her and Jim Willig, or when they start talking, you just want to get to the side and let them do what they do best,
Yeah,
And she is just fantastic.
yeah, you've had her and Jim Willig, another comedian who
Christine Levine, Nathan Brennan, who's now moved to L.A. to go on to bigger and better, And we've had quite a few local comedians, and anything that can make the show funnier rather than just staring at two middle-aged dudes, hey, we're all for it.
I just I've kind of lost the flow of the interview here after just thinking guy in the meat suit. It's just like, but anyway.
Doc, welcome to my world. Welcome to ADD.
Yeah.
Look at the squirrel.
Or a mouse in the case of Mark.
Right.
Really.
And, I love that.
I was there
Dan the
once.
rat.
Yes, I was there. It wasn't a rat. It was like a little mouse. If it was a rat,
Well, right now it's a rat. In next year, if you ask me again, I'm going to say it was a small raccoon-like. It's going to get bigger as the time goes on.
River. Yes.
But yeah, Mark, he's not friends of mouses. He's not. I would say he's not rodent friendly.
This was a tiny mouse. This was a tiny little cute squeaker, kind of, the ones that like cats.
Did you look into his eyes, Doc? He had hatred in his eyes.
Well,
No, he was actually a cute little mouse.
yeah. I think this was all on the recording at
But
the
he
time.
had hate in his eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you stare into him?
I mean, Mark's a big guy, and just
Yeah.
I thought he was. I thought he was going to do the 100-meter dash. I really did.
Yeah, he's
like-
not rodent friendly, and
Yeah. I mean, I don't like rodent. I don't like rats. River rats.
per se, right?
Kind of the bigger they are, the scarier they are. But just
Yeah.
a little tiny thing. It's like, well, you're bigger than that thing, and it's no big deal.
Right.
I had, I was in Little Italy. in
Okay.
New York.
Oh, New York rats. Yeah, Portland rats ain't nothing. Forget about it.
Okay, so Little Italy,
Yeah.
New York,
Yeah.
late at night.
Oh yeah.
We're just touring around. I was with a lady you know well
Okay.
from House of Sound.
Sure.
And we were just
We'll call her a Madam X.
Madam X.
Okay.
I was working there, and then
Yes.
she was there visiting friends. So we she was like, "You got to get on the subway. I was working pretty hard, but it was like she was forcing me to go out and see the town while I was working. So
Yeah.
I was literally fell asleep on the subway at one point. But we were in Little Italy, like late at night, and we're looking for like a late night bar, maybe get a snack or something.
Sure.
And walking down the street, and like 3 or 4 rats just, there's trash,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
on the street. And these guys are just like coming at us. They're just coming at us.
3D, right? Yeah.
They go, hey, what you doing? Hey, you're in it. I mean, I
Right.
swear they had Italian accents.
Well, yeah,
And
New
they
York
just
rats
sort
do.
of, kind of
They own the road.
scampered
Sure.
past us. And it was like, she's like, and she didn't flinch. She was just like,
Yeah.
she's an animal person. She's like,
These animal person rats are going,
like-
yeah.
did you catch that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not even thinking about it. We're in New York, man. Whatever.
Right.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. So,
Right. Yeah, but New York rats they're on a whole different level than Portland rats. Okay, yeah, they're rats, right?
Mark would have beat Usain Bolt's
Sprint record. Yeah.
record at the Olympics
Yeah.
had he been there.
Oh yeah, New
Trust
York
me.
rats. Not only do they creep you out, they will actually mug you.
Yes. No, it was exactly, yeah. It was just like, don't say anything, just keep walking straight. And
don't eye contact. Don't look at me in the eyes.
yeah, that was it. Just like, don't make eye contact with the rats. So, seriously, that was kind of like it. Just
Yeah.
like, anyway. Well,
Fantastic.
I do appreciate you being here.
No, thank you. When you said that you were going to launch a brand new venture out into the world, I said, that's what this show needs: a fat, bald guy sitting in front of camera for an hour talking about weird things.
Yeah, 2 old white guys. That's it's just underrepresented in media, I think, today.
Right.
Yeah, the diversity. Yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate that you came here.
No, yeah.
And we've been talking. You've been talking about your new thing with me for a long time, and I've been talking about this for a long time, and it's always been kind of like,
It's cool to see things go from just idea into fruition. That's for you. I mean, it's got to be one of the satisfying things, right? I mean, you created it, and
the word for it is
yes,
among the young people.
the millennials. Yes,
There it is.
Millennial
Is
speak.
Ideation.
Ideation. I have to remember
Yes,
that.
Ideation. One of my favorite new words that I can't stand, that just comes up all the time. I have got lots of pet peeves.
Okay. Lay it on me.
Well, no, I mean, there was,
Oh, I still got to give you my conspiracy theory. Real quick, yeah.
Well, there's all these, of the tech startup, disruption and ideation, and there's a ton of them. I can't even think of them right now. But when I read them, Mashable or Tech, like,
right.
Please.
What is Doc Normal's word of the week? What is it?
I think we're gonna do that here.
Yeah.
I did have a word of the week. Oh, I do have a word of the week.
Okay.
I do have a word of the week, and it's
excellent.
relevant to what you're doing.
All right, lay it on me.
And I'm actually gonna make a T-shirt.
Excellent.
It is, and it's no big surprise. It is Peacenik.
Peacenik, yes. I haven't heard that in a while. Peacenik.
I haven't heard it in a while, and I'm bringing it
In
back.
the 50s, it was Beatnik. In the 60s, it was Peacenik.
Yeah, and I'm going to bring that back.
Excellent.
I want to make T-shirts. I want to wear the T-shirt.
Peacenik.
I'd be happy to, have other people
Tie-dye,
take
maybe?
the Peacenik. Well, I'm kind of a black T-shirt guy myself, a little more Henry Rollins-ish, but yeah, I think it's time. I think
Bring it
we
back.
need a lot more Peacenik.
I can get behind
the
that.
world.
Yeah, I can get behind that. So that's a cool word.
Yeah.
He ever like? I'm a huge word guy too. Oh, you're gonna love this. Are there some word? There are some words that when you say the definition is innocent enough, but just the word sounds dirty.
Yeah,
all right.
true.
Like you could say anything, and you could talk about anything if you use the word mastication.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, that don't sound very
Oh,
mastication.
that was cause for constant giggles and laughters in 7th grade biology class.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, no, you need to learn this word. And of course, I was like kind of the nerd kid, so I was like, well, actually, it's not what you think it is.
Right.
That's my nerd voice.
Well, pretty close to my nerd
yes,
voice too. Yeah.
Mastication. There's all sorts of wonderful words, but Peacenik.
Let's bring that back, dude. And that's a Doc. He's the guy that's behind this. The whole movement.
I
Hashtag.
I even looked it up, and they attribute it first use, according to online, is 1962. And it
about
was,
right, yeah.
And it was kind of
stemmed out of the beatnik sort of thing.
It did. Yes.
Into the early folk.
Well, what I didn't know was that because Peacenik to me was always like, well, that's a Russian play on a
what they called hippies. What the Russians called the hippies.
Yeah, like
they're
socialist or red.
Yeah.
And actually, like beatnik, Nick is a Slavic for ER.
Okay.
So, like, you don't have a beater.
So it's a piecer.
Beatnik.
Hey, you're a piecer.
It's a piecer. That's exactly what it is. So, since piecer kind of sounds dumb,
right?
Peacenik, which is also why we have beatnik. I was like, I didn't know that. I just figured.
Yeah, beater wouldn't sound very good.
No, beater, a piecer.
Oh, that Jack Kerouac, he's such a beater.
Yeah, exactly.
Ginsburg, what?
So, but anyway, I just think we need a lot more tie-dye.
Bring it back,
and a
dude.
lot more Peacenik, and that's my main political issue.
Folks, what I want you to do right now is when you see this, I want you to go onto any social media you got, whether it be Tumblr, Facebook, whatever, and I want you to write a post, hashtag Peacenik.
Yes.
And it's going to grow. But I want to tell you my conspiracy theory story. All right. When I started thinking about wanting to do a political show, I noticed that some on the real hard right, they have all these conspiracy theories, you know.
Yeah.
And I want to do one of my own. I want to do this. And so I came up with a conspiracy theory. I swear it's real. All right. You heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump. Okay?
Yes.
He spray tans with Cheeto dust. That's how he gets orange, okay? And so when everyone says, geez, I don't understand how Trump is so popular with people, they don't like him. They're just smelling the Cheeto stuff and they're hungry. They don't like him. They're just hungry, right? And so I figured with that and with his Messiah complex, we're going to term a new word, Cheeto Jesus.
Cheeto Jesus.
Cheeto Jesus. Hashtag Cheeto Jesus.
Are you sure that's not?
I don't know.
Because, people always have potato chips. It's like, look, it's
Cheeto Jesus.
Cheeto.
Right, I just figured with the orange, his orange spray tanning it, that's my conspiracy theory. How does he get that orange complexion?
I like that almost sounds like
Cheetos.
Here in Southeast Portland, we have the design studio, Cheeto Jesus. Look at our branding.
Right next to Portlandia, And to your left, out of state people, to your left, if you look, you'll see Cheeto Jesus. Either that or Saturday Market, right?
For the Bonneville, we've done branding for Bonneville, Nike.
Oh, Cheeto Jesus? Yeah, I know him. He's down
in great design studio, Cheeto Jesus.
Right, he's the Cheeto Jesus. He's down at Saturday Market. Doesn't he do like karaoke down there? I think Cheeto Jesus, isn't that him?
No. So I will back up your conspiracy theory.
Thank you.
Because there's more to it.
There
which
is.
I think is actually true.
There
and
is.
this is fair time.
Yes.
Like balance, fair and balance.
Fair and balanced, yes.
So,
Okay.
we're talking about Trump.
Okay.
I think you have to talk about the other candidate,
Hillary, sure.
Hillary Clinton.
Okay. Do we want a conspiracy theory for her?
Well, I'm just saying
Okay.
he's using the Cheeto dust
Yes.
to turn orange.
Yes.
Hillary Clinton, when she gives a speech,
Yeah.
is having she's coughing a lot. She's and actually that's in the news recently. She had another big coughing fit.
Yes.
Yeah, one of her things.
Yeah.
And as she was coughing, like in between coughs, she tried to make a quip and she said, "I'm actually allergic to Donald Trump.
Yes, I heard.
It's
Yes.
the Cheeto dust."
Hillary is allergic to Cheetos.
Exactly.
Wow.
There you go.
That's going to cause quite a stir in the debates then.
There we go. I know. He's gonna like shed the Cheeto dust.
Right.
Where is this going?
It's quite interesting, the pendulum shift you see going back and forth. If you take the long view of politics, the back and forth, the swing. I mean, one of the last things, I know we're running a little overtime here, but one of the last things I'll leave you with is, as far as a pendulum swing, what I said on our Down Low show. And it's something that even after I said it, after I've told myself in my head a million times, it's just kind of wow. The party of Lincoln is now the party of Trump.
Yeah.
Digest that, and I went off on a rant. Party of Lincoln is now a party of Trump. Reagan wanted to tear down walls. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, and you've got another one trying to build them now. And so it's such a huge. And again, I'm biased,
Right.
but it's just, to me, if you like to take the long view, especially world politics, American politics, U.S. politics, quite the pendulum shifts back and forth. It's from a history geek standpoint, it's always wow, interesting.
Yeah, I think one of the larger problems you said the phrase earlier about, it seems like politics, like everything right now in the 21st century, is immediate. It's immediate. It's certainly not looking backward just to inform. And it seems rather that we're not looking forward. There's a great speaker and author, Douglas Rushkoff, and I've had the opportunity on several occasions to film keynote talks that he's given, and he was in Portland in May giving his latest one. But he's got a new book out called "Throwing Rocks at the Google Bus." And before that,
provocative.
Before that, his book was Future Shock.
Yes.
Not Future Shock.
Okay, I recognize.
Present Shock.
Okay.
It's a play on Alvin Toffler's
Gotcha.
Future Shock.
Okay.
And his whole premise of that book and his talk is that exactly that once we kind of crossed over into the 21st century and the millennium, we stopped kind of looking ahead.
Everything's now. Everything is connected now.
And that's exactly his premise. It's now. Like in the 20th century, we were looking ahead always like, what's that future?
Well, you had to, because everything delivered took time. Nowadays, you don't have to wait for the next day's paper. You don't have to wait for the 11 o'clock news. In real time what's going on. And so people react in real time. And which is a blessing and a curse, because sometimes you need that time to digest something, to formulate your own philosophy and your own opinion about something, and then to articulate it to the best of your ability. All right, gone is the delivery systems of the era where everything sounded just Hollywood-esque, because people actually sat down and like, maybe I want to think about before I say something. We're at the point now where you've got literally major nominations for an American political party saying their power words are big league, and saying the word tremendous 50 times in a 20-second soundbite. And but that in and of its own is a whole nother show, Right.
Yeah. So I'll leave you with that. I think that's I think that's a piece of the puzzle, and a piece of the problem is the Douglas Rushkoff kind of idea of that present shock. And you said it. That's exactly his premise. The now
civilization will adjust to it, though. I mean, it takes time, especially old codgers like me.
Yeah.
My kids marvel at me when I tell them of a world before the internet,
right?
The world before there were cordless cell phones.
But that's what we, But that's what we looked forward to and dreamed of.
Yes, the Jetsons.
Yeah, to think about someday I might have a computer in my hand that could access all the world's knowledge.
Right. The Expo Future World, where you'd go there and you'd see all the gadgets of the future. Wow, the 21st century is going to be great.
And so that we take for granted. What is that Expo Future World, and what is that? I mean, in the 20th century, when you were growing up, that was a utopian world. It's like, racism and all this stuff is going to starvation and these things. But now it's what are those big problems we're going to solve? And I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing some great science, which I follow a lot, which I focus a lot on.
But I think
that's about it.
The major difference is, again, we're going off in left field here. But the major difference, I think, is in our day, when we were young and we were growing up, we saw technology and we leaned on it. Mm-hmm. This is going to cure all the evils. This is going to cure famine. It's going to cure everything. And then
in some ways it did.
In some ways it does. In some ways, especially delivery systems and the connectivity is a blessing in its own right. But I think that we've now gotten to this age where the millennials, the youngsters of the world, they look and then they see the picture that we've drawn for them, and it doesn't necessarily connect with them. And you said this is going to cure everything, and it's still kind of the same. So
right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up. I kind of discreetly moved the
montage 4 hours later. So, Doc, tell me about that.
Yeah. So, anyway, I want to thank you for being here, Jason. I really do appreciate it. It's been kind of an interesting start.
Yeah. It's a pleasure and an honor to hang
be honest, I've had a lot of this set up for quite some time, and
I love it. Professional lighting, the technology behind this is just, it's top shelf.
Thanks.
So
thanks.
If this is only the launching pad, oh my gosh, pretty soon I'm going to be trying to get a hold of you, and I don't know Jason Allen anymore. Who is he? Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Or I'll tell him, we'll do lunch sometime in the year 2020 something.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Well, thanks for being here, and look forward to your new show.
Yes.
And new Anarchy stuff.
Yes.
Any parting thoughts for the kids out there?
Parting thoughts. Tune in, www.anarchyradio.net. We are the Northwest #1 internet radio show. We've just launched our brand new website and streaming from that and from there only. And the future is so bright, I'm going to wear shades.
Nice.
And if you figure out, you youngsters, millennials, figure out where that's from, get on the anarchyradio.net, tell me where it's from, and I'll send you like a Tootsie Roll in the mail or something.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks, Jason. And this has been the first
inaugural,
hopefully many Portland Conversations, pdxconvo.com. I am the former and current Doc Normal.
The artist formerly known as.
Yes. And I'll see you soon. Take care.